Good afternoon, magnetized souls. So excited to be here again today. So, I have been thinking quite a lot about two words. One is acceptance, and the other is illusion. Acceptance really means, and I'm going to look at my notes here because I wrote it down, fully acknowledging the facts of a situation and not fixating on how it should be or shouldn't be the way it is. Illusion, on the other hand, is a deceptive appearance, idea, or perception that misrepresents reality. And it tricks our mind and our senses into creating false beliefs about ourselves, about society, about religion. It's a distortion of sensory input created by our brain as to how to interpret the world. Now remember, our brain has one purpose, and that is to keep us safe. So we're trying to interpret the world, and our ego gets involved. Our ego is something we have to really learn to manage. And illusion can create optical tricks that create mistaken beliefs. Things like attachment to possessions, fixed ideas about God or religion, the illusion that each of us is separate from each other or from God, or the illusion of good or bad. So, what I really want to focus on today are these two words. You see, most of us do not accept ourselves because we cannot accept ourselves. And I'm talking about every aspect of ourselves, not just the good parts of us, but the shadows that live within us. We all have the capacity to hate, to be enraged, to hurt another person. But we do not like to admit that. And one of the first things as a spiritual person we need to learn to do is accept ourselves, every part of ourselves, even the darkest part of ourselves that we really don't want to admit lives within us. If we cannot accept our own darkness, we will never be able to accept the darkness that's within the world. And we will fight it tooth and nail. And until we can look within, everything is about, in spirituality, it's about looking within. What makes you tick? How did it happen? And that's where this illusion comes in. Because from the time we are born, we are fed information about the world, about ourselves, about everything. And being the little sponges that we are when we're born until up to about the age of 7, we just take it all as fact. We don't challenge it. We don't even have the capacity to challenge it. The problem is we end up never challenging those illusions. We have so many false beliefs about ourselves that we're not enough, that we don't have any worth. And that is false. We are all divine beings who have come here to earth to learn lessons. Maybe even we're not here to learn lessons. Maybe we're just here to create what's never been created before. You see, when we have the illusion in our mind, and I swear to you, we all have a veil over us, and we have had in the 3D a veil. We have not been able to see the truth of who we are. But we are powerful beings. We are divine. We are all connected. And the more we can learn and see that within us, the more we can begin to love ourselves. We can have compassion for those parts of us that we don't really like. Because why? Why don't we like them? Ask yourself that question. Why don't I like every part of me? I'll tell you. You're scared of it. You're afraid that you might become that. Why are you afraid of that? You have free will. It is something that even in the fifth dimension won't be taken away from us. We have free will. You get to choose who you want to be. You get to choose your reality. And the more you can get in touch with every aspect of you, the more you are in touch with everything. When we focus on the outside of us and we focus on the bad things, on the killings, the wars, all of that, we're giving our energy over to that thing. And you may think you're not, but if where your thoughts go is where your energy flows. That is science. We are energetic beings. So if there is a fire somewhere and you throw another log on it or you throw a little gas on it, what's going to happen? It gets bigger. So it's really up to you to direct your thoughts, to become aware of your thoughts. I just talked about this in my last video. Become aware of your thoughts. Every moment of every day, you are making decisions about your reality. And if you are not aware of it, your beliefs are controlling that reality. And you're going to continue to do the same thing over and over and over again until you change how you do things, until you begin to challenge your own belief systems. I remember when I was like 16, 17 years old, and I started questioning my parents. Why are there so many religions in the world? If there's only one God, why do we have a million different Lutherans, Catholic churches, and Baptist churches? And why do we have Hindus and all these different religions? And they couldn't explain it to me. But I figured it out because I started going to every kind of church I could go to, every kind of church. And I would go sometimes a month, sometimes two. Sometimes I'd spend 6 months there because I kind of enjoyed it. What I began to realize is that man is the one that interpreted the quote unquote Bible or the Quran or whatever the teachings were. Man interpreted it. Man created the division. Man created their version of the truth that resonated with them. Doesn't mean it was right, doesn't mean it was wrong. It just means that it came from another human being outside of us. And so I stopped going to church. I never gave up my belief in God. God is the creator. And for me, He is my creator. And He is the only one that I will turn to. And so I pray and I go inward so that I can become in touch with Him. But I'm not going to put my view of how God is or how religion is out to you, because you know what? I'm going to be wrong. It's just how it is. Because it's my version, it's my thoughts. It's just like when somebody thinks something about you, it has nothing to do with you. They're their own thoughts based upon their own information, their own beliefs, their own experiences. And when you can begin to learn that, you can begin to break some of the illusions that you've been told. Maybe your parents told you weren't pretty. Why? Because maybe your mom didn't feel pretty herself. And so she projected that onto you. That was never yours to carry. You could be the most beautiful person in the world. Yet somebody told you when you were young that you weren't, and you believed it. You have to start challenging your beliefs. You have to start challenging everything in this world because I guarantee you it is an illusion created by other people that we are trying to live up to. Ask yourself, challenge your beliefs. Why is it this way? How come we do it that way? And find those answers for you. I can't tell you what you should believe or shouldn't believe. You are entitled to your beliefs. Your experiences are different than mine. My experiences are different than yours. And so each of us, we need to begin to accept ourselves. When we accept ourselves fully and wholly, then we can begin to accept others. And aren't we stop seeking approval. They don't have to agree with you. They don't have to even like you. When you disagree with somebody, you're just resisting who they are. Let them be who they are. Let them decide what they want to do. Let them live their life in the way they see fit. The only one you have control over is you. So take control over you and your thoughts and your beliefs. Try to live in the present moment because that's where everything is. The present moment. And how do you get to the present moment? Breathe deeply, in and out, in and out. Do it about 5 times. You will begin to get centered here. That's where you want to be, not up here. This one, it's just trying to tell you and keep you safe. It's going to keep you in an illusion of its own making. And that's where our ego comes in because our brain creates that ego. You want to be heart centered. When you can get here, there's no past, there's no future, there's peace, there's calm, there's equanimity. You begin to release control and you end up feeling compassion for yourself, and understanding that life sometimes isn't fair. You stop being a victim, because when we are a victim, we're not holding ourselves accountable for our decisions. Yet we're making decisions every moment of every day. So we have to stop putting it out there on somebody else, because the decision comes from here, inside us. It's nobody out there that makes us do anything. It's a decision that we have made to either react or not react. And that's where that releasing control comes into play. And when we do this, we begin to heal, because the cause of suffering is when we are resisting who and what we actually are. Accept yourself so fully that you're not scared about the choices you're going to make, because you have free will to make the choices that are right for you. They're not right for anybody else. They're right for you. You get to choose the side of the story you write. You get to choose your reality and your destiny. Choose acceptance over approval. Move into flow instead of trying to force situations. How do we do this? Well, it's not easy, and I'm not going to tell you it is. For me, what has really worked is to journal and write down all these little things. When I feel something fearful, when I have an emotional reaction, I'm going to write it down, and I'm going to look and see, what is it? Is there some resistance there? Why is it there? Then I'm going to practice mindfulness. I'm going to get myself in the present moment, and I'm going to meditate. And maybe I'll use a guided meditation on a particular topic or not. But the goal is to begin to question how you develop this. Why is it there? How is it helping you? The next big one, and this has been huge for me, so let go of judgment. I have been so hard on myself throughout my entire life. It took me years to realize that judgment is suffering. It causes me pain inside. It doesn't help me. And I begin to understand that when I'm judging anything, I'm always judging me. If I'm judging somebody outside of myself, they're the mirror looking back at me, and it's me. It always comes back to us. So let go of judgment, because you're only judging you, hurting you. You've never hurt the other person. They don't know you're judging them. Maybe you tell them. But you know what? They don't hang on to it for the most part, but we do. We have an argument. Who hangs on to it the longest? The one that instigated it. You replay it in your mind and you go over it and over it. You're the one that's suffering in that case. You're the one that's left holding the hot coal. They never held it. You're holding it and you're burning your own hands. So let go of it. Learn to forgive. That's another big one for me. I've had some things happen in my life, like being raped for one. It was really hard to forgive. But forgiveness doesn't mean that it's okay, that what they did was okay. The forgiveness, it's for me to say, I accept that this happened and I'm going to move on. When we do that and we don't need to change what they did or how they did it, that leads to freedom inside us. And finally, I think the other big thing that we can work on in this area of acceptance is embracing our imperfection. We're not perfect. We weren't meant to be perfect. We were meant to be creators. Our soul, and you may disagree with this, but I believe that we came from God. And as we come into this world, we're a soul in the outer world, in the divine world. We're part of God. And then we decide, oh, God says, would you like to go represent me on earth? And you say yes, and you enter this world as a soul with a human body. I often think of my human body as my astronaut suit. Without it, I can't be here. And so I need to take care of it. I need to have compassion for myself. I need to embrace those parts of me that I don't always like or that I think are not good enough, or embrace who I am and accept that that is who and what I am. I may not be the most eloquent speaker, but I enjoy speaking. I enjoy sharing the information that I've learned. And so I think it's really important to accept that we've come here in a human body as a soul from God. We're all interconnected. We are all souls from God. We are all energy. I've had an experience one time where everything just turned, all I could see was energy. And that's when I realized every one of us, we're not really individual. We are just fragments of energy moving. It's our body that holds us in what we perceive as separation. But in reality, there isn't any separation. We are all just a flow of energy. I don't can't tell you how to learn to accept yourself, but I think it's important that we learn to do that because we can't take the 3D into the 5D. We have to let that all go. And the more we accept ourselves, the more we let go of the 3D. And the easier it is for us to be true energy and ascend. But the more we hold on to beliefs, religions, possessions, we come into this world with nothing. And I guarantee you, you're going to go out of this world with nothing. All these things that we believe are ours, they're not ours. We're just borrowing them while we're here on earth. We can't take any of it with us. It goes back to the earth. Maybe it's picked up by somebody else, maybe it's not. So I'm learning to let go of all of my possessions and learning to think of them not as mine, but as a gift from the universe that I get to use while I'm here on earth, but it's not mine. Never was, and it never will be. So I think I've gone on long and long enough. My key point is fully embrace who you are. Accept the good and the bad, the light and the dark, because that's what makes the whole, the duality, light and dark, good and bad. All of that creates the whole. And you can't be whole if you're pushing away and resisting any part of yourself. And let go of those illusions, because that is part of what's holding you back from accepting yourself. Figure out what the illusions are. What is real and what isn't. Question everything. And then come home into your heart and see where that leads you. See if you can accept yourself fully. It is a journey. I I'm still on. I'm not going to tell you I'm there, because if I were, I probably wouldn't be here. I still have more to learn, and I fully accept that, and I embrace it, and I'm excited to see what else I discover about myself that was an illusion. I encourage you to do the same. Thank you all for listening today.